program, The Real Women, on Ignite TV, showing every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Are you into any relationship at all? And what do you actually know the difference between a relationship and a marriage? And can you vouch that your relationship can lead you into a successful marriage or a successful marital life? Are you proud of your spouse, be it the male or the female? Whatever the denomination or the religious is a concept or that you belong to, religious setting that you find yourself, can you vouch, can you boast that this relationship I'm into, yes, I'm sure I'm going to have a blessed marriage, a peaceful marriage, whatever. And that brings us to the topic we'll be discussing today on The Real Women every Tuesday. But for today, we are discussing the topic. If you wonder what is the topic, we're going to discuss. We decided to come on studio today for our people to know. And the topic is does your relationship determine your marriage? Does your relationship determine your marriage? If you're into any relationship, we have some people that they find themselves in a long-term relationship, 4 years, 5 years, 8 years, that have not led them to the altar. You might be wondering that something might be happening there. Don't forget, I'm your uncle, Abiodun Adelere, on Ignite TV. Abiodun is my name. You'll be wondering, okay, this kind of relationship, níbo ló fẹ́ gbé wa dé? Especially the women, they'll be afraid that my spouse has not said anything yet. He said he's not ready yet. He said he's not ready for marriage. He needs to set me up. He needs to have maybe a certain amount in his bank account before he settles down. And that brings us to that topic. That are you really sure that this relationship that you are wasting your time on can lead you to marriage? And what is marriage? When you have, the first marriage in the Bible, yes, God started it. He said a man will leave his parents and cleave to his wife. They will now become one. That is 1 + 1 will become one. One body, one soul, one spirit. That is what marriage is. The Bible or the dictionary never mentioned or saying, okay, to say marriage or relationship is the process of 1 + 1 is equal to 1. No, it is marriage. So if you are into any relationship and you're spending a long time on it, you need to do something. Okay, pray. And something might be wrong somewhere. You need to know that something is actually wrong somewhere. This my spouse, either the male or the female, okay, we can see some situations that some female will be like, wow, me ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tó lọ́dọ̀ àwọn òbí mi, mo fẹ́ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lọ́dọ̀ ìyá mi, mi ti mo bó ṣe ń sóúnjẹ, mi ti mo, no matter the educational background. There are some women that are learned, yes, and very beautiful, well-mannered, well-tutored, but they will tell you, I'm not ready for marriage. But there is this relationship, there's a misconception between relationship and marriage. It can never be the same. Check the dictionary meaning. Go to the Bible, even the Quran. Go and check it. There is difference between relationship and marriage. Don't forget the program again is The Real Women. If you want to become a real woman, there are some things you need to do. There are some assignments that you need to carry out, some duties that you need to perform. Perhaps you need to go down on your knees and pray. This relationship, we have so many of them. At the end of the day, one of the spouse will tell you, okay, I've taken a second thought. What do you think will be the aftermath of that kind of relationship? Of that person? After waiting for so long, a relationship of about 3, 4, 5 years, perhaps 8 years. Yes, I've experienced some like that. At the end of the day, the guy said he has taken a second thought. I can find, I can now find a new spouse, a new girl that suits my life, that suits my purpose, that I can marry. So there are some factors that we need to look into that often cause these mistakes. Okay, let me say mistakes or havocs. It's havoc because it's a great havoc. Some people lose their lives in this process. We are still going back to the streets next week to go and ask people out there their own opinion about this topic. But there are some factors we have to let our viewers to know that if you work on these factors, okay, you can, it's either plus or minus, positive or negative, but you need to work on it. What are the factors? The number one is compatibility. Okay, I could remember God helped me to handle our case sometimes last month. I didn't ask how long the relationship had been, but all of a sudden the guy stopped calling the lady. He stopped chatting. She would chat him. He never responded. And she was crying, and mommy, I don't know what is wrong. Me, call me, respond to chat me. So I said, let's keep on praying. Something must have gone wrong. And unfortunately, they are not closer to each other. One is in the southern states, while the other one is in the northern states. So you can imagine the distance. So I said, let's keep on praying, and God will show us the way. Ask what? As you're listening, click the like button, share it with your friends, even your relatives. Share it on your page. As you are listening, you might be helping someone out there. Then your comment matters. Share your views about the topic. You must have gone through the same stage, or you had a similar experience. Now I told the lady, let's keep on praying. All of a sudden, maybe about 2 weeks later, she called me that the guy said we are not compatible. Ask what is the compatibility. Not that the lady is not beautiful, she's beautiful, she's educated. The guy too is educated. Unfortunately, they did not check their genotype. So many mistakes abound these days, especially when we go to the religious sects. They will say kò sí nǹkan tó kò ṣe kankan, kò mean anything. Ìfẹ́ lójú, but a bá fẹ́ràn ara wa, when we love each other, it doesn't have anything to do with our genotype or our blood group or our resource. There are so many mistakes there, so many havocs. So she was not crying. I said, why are you crying? Ẹkún tó yẹ kó sun lọ́jọ́ ọ̀la, ó ti sún lẹ́sìn. Thank God, God showed you the way on time. God showed you the way. You are AS, the guy is AS. If care is not taken, your seeds, yes, your children, you just continue to be giving back to SS. Then where is the peace in the home? Definitely there will not be peace in the family. So thank God, we just thank God, okay, we prayed to God, show us the way, and he actually did. So that's why the number one factor is compatibility. If they're not compatible, if you and your friend, I'll call it a friend, because you are into a relationship, you're not sure if it will lead you to marriage, or if the spouse, okay, let me say the man, because as the man that will take the lady to the altar, you're not sure if the guy will take you to the altar. You're not sure. So many mistakes that we make through that incompatibility system. Okay, some might say, okay, okay, I discovered that she's not educated, or the man is not educated. It's those ones too. Yes, we have experienced it. Àmì ìfẹ́fẹ́ ni tí ó kàwé, ṣé o mọ̀ pé kò kàwé tẹ́lẹ̀ kó tó gbà fún, kó yẹ kó gbà fún àgbà tó mọ̀ pé kò kàwé, tó mọ̀ pé ẹni tó kàwé lọ. We have so many men, some guys there, they will tell you, I want an illiterate as a wife so that will respect me. Because most of the educated ladies these days, they live on junk foods. They cannot make amala. They cannot make this. They cannot make that. Let me say African foods, but international foods, junk foods. They live on those foods. But there are some men that maybe perhaps they were not brought up that way, but they determined that okay, when I get married, I want to marry a woman or a lady that knows how to cook very well. That is one of the incompatibility we're talking about. If you are not compatible, that marriage will never work. If you force yourself into it, something will force you out of that marriage. Now, the number two is communication. We have some marriages these days. The okay, let me say this: the husband, the couples, yes, husband and wife, they could not communicate with each other. Wọ́n lè wà nínú ilé o. The woman might be in the bedroom, the husband in the sitting room, or vice versa. We find it difficult to gist. I say, okay, I told somebody that said these couples are not gist partners. If you and your husband or your wife are not gist partner, hey, problem one bell. Yes, quote me anywhere. If you're not gist partners, there is problem in that marriage because you will not be free to open up to your spouse. You not be able to tell him what is in your mind. Something might be bothering you, but you'll be afraid. You not perhaps there are so many men that after closing from the office, they go to their friend's place or perhaps the bar. They go to the bar so that they'll have nice time with their friends. And kilo de tí máa kúkú délé ìyàwó mi kọ́ máa lejú kòkòkò níbi ìkéde kan kíni kan àbí kó gbéjà kò mí lójú because they are not just partners. And there are some men too wọ́n kàn máa lójú newspaper. If my food is strange, just let me know. Hey, have you, is that water in the house? They'll just be backing because they are not just partners. There's no how they can never be compatible. Then if they cannot communicate with each other, because the compatibility bẹ́ẹ̀ náà nìyẹn. Àlejò kókókókókó bí no bẹ́ẹ̀ jẹ́ sójà gan àwọn sójà gan máa ń mọ bó ṣe tọ́jú ìyàwó náà. Hello. Now the next factor is commitment. If they're not willing to put efforts towards the success of the marriage, okay, let's plan when we get married, what are the things we want to be doing? When we get married, well, what are the plans for our children or our upcoming children? And when we get married, and what no, if you discover that your spouse is not talking about those areas or those things, please jackpot, jackpot. That relationship cannot lead to marriage. And if you force yourself and you know to your own detriment, and there are so many marriages these days that okay, with time my spouse or my partner will change, my partner will change, my partner will change. All of in fact, unfortunately, they cannot change. Tó bá change lójú ọ̀nà wọn lè change nínú ilé o because ìgbà tọ́wọ́ wọn bá ti tẹ̀ kú dà báyìí wọn máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ kú tó pa bàbá wọn so they will do then they can do and undo, especially the male side. Sorry, I apologize to the male, to the okay, to our husbands there. Then the next factor is emotional and intimacy. You cannot hug your spouse. You cannot say, um, there was a okay. I was amongst some couples, okay, friends. I call them friends because they were not yet married. Say the lady was just playing with the guy and he flaunted. Kilo Ashman Baba mi sharing. The lady said, someone cannot play with you. Is that how you used to do? Well, the tea fẹ́ra wọn sílé o. Ọkùnrin tó bá ti mọ̀ pé ò lè bá ṣeré. Sọ pé repa. You know there are some jokes. There are some funny jokes you crack within yourselves. Ọkùnrin mi ò fẹ́, obìnrin mi náà ò fẹ́, wọ́n jọjọjọjọ wo ni gbogbo ṣì náà mi like. Please don't embark on that journey. It is very, very dangerous. It is very, very. If you're not intimate with your friend, your partner, then how do you want to get married? Because it's a long-term investment. You're going to spend the whole of your life together. So if you don't build your marriage on the solid rock, there's going to be problem. Then when the marriage crashes, ẹ máa sọ pé ogun ìdílé ni. Then some people will now start tracing their their family traits. Bóyá bàbá dáàdi wa kan nígbà tó ń lọ fẹ́ yàwó, maybe something like that happened to her. No, you're making a very big mistake. Kò ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ lórí. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká wò bẹ́ẹ̀. Consider these factors, and I believe you're writing these factors down because it matters a lot. Don't treat it with levity. It's something you need to hold in high esteem because it will do you a great, in fact, favor. Let me say favor because it's some good yẹn lásán kò tó. Favor ni fún ẹ o. Yes. Then trust and respect. Trust and respect. If you don't trust yourselves, Joe, Mafia, don't marry someone you don't trust because that marriage will not last. Kì í ṣèpè o, kì í ṣèpè. That marriage will not last. Okay, I watched a film that the guy said, okay, I want to marry a lady that can respect me, that I can trust. Not the one I will marry that will tell me, okay, mo wà lóṣòdì. Then someone will tell you, mo ti rí ìyàwó yín nílọrin. Ìyẹn tún kọ́. Ẹ jọ ṣógun ìdílé ni. Kí ṣógun ìdílé o? Àfọwọ́fà. Jẹ́ kó rẹ̀ trust ẹ. Jẹ́ kó kọ́ ẹ trust ẹ. Káwọn ọmọ ẹ trust ẹ. Bó ló ti ń bẹ̀rẹ̀? Látọ̀ ṣì wà lójú ọ̀nà from relationship to marriage. If you are not able to checkmate your partner while in relationship, problem máa wà. Then respect some women. Okay, àwọn kan láwọn olùmígbà kan. Get a pet name for your husband, or you call him. Okay, ó ti bímọ fún now. Bàbá lágbájá wọn kì í fọlọ́pàá mú yàn sí. Just shout your husband's name in the public. Kiri kan ṣọwọ́ mẹ́jọ tó fún orúkọ ni. That doesn't mean if you call him, if you give him a pet name. Àwọn kan sọ pé okay baby, okay I know that I wholeheartedly support calling your spouse, either your husband or your wife, baby. But if you cannot find a pet name for him or her, it is accepted than Pakika. Ẹlòmíì bus stop nǹkan tó wá pariwo ìyá tó ti bímọ mẹ́ta mẹ́rin márùn-ún. Mo rẹ́nikẹ́ wá mọ́tò tí dé máa bọ̀ ní bus stop. Obìnrin míì náà ń kọ́ tó bá pariwo orúkọ ọkọ ẹ̀ á dẹ̀ pé òun ló dákọ̀ fún. Marry someone you can respect. Tí ò bá tiẹ̀ pọ̀ jù. I believe some people will be okay, àṣejù ni aláṣejù aya tí ń pọkọ ní bàbá ọwọ́ ẹ ló kù sí o wá jèrè ẹ o wá jèrè ẹ ìyàwó tó mọ̀yá yìí ọkọ àrítọ́wọ́ ọkọ gbà obìnrin tó mọ̀yá yìí ọkọ àrítọ́wọ́ ọkọ gbà tí kì í ṣàgídí tó ń bọ̀wọ̀ fọ́kọ bí mo bá purọ́ ẹja mi o tí n bá purọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bèrè lọ́wọ́ ìyá wa àwọn bàbá wa ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ bèrè wọ́n lọ ṣe in fact mo máa ń jókòó I will just sit down and watch some couples máa pè wọ́n ṣá àwọn dáàdì wa yẹn some elderly couples you see bàbá 80 àti ìyàwó ẹ̀ he might be of the same age group with his wife or not but wọ́n ti dàgbà you see them moving on the road tí n bá rí wọn inú mi máa ń dùn wọn pé okay àwọn eléyìí náà ti la oríṣiríṣi kọjá o tẹ́ bá bí wọn go and ask them how they did it tí wọn fi separate tí wọn fi part tí ò fi sí problem but now single parenting is the thing of the day because you cannot trust yourselves and you cannot respect yourselves nǹkan tó fa problem nìyẹn but let's checkmate our partners very well before we embark on the journey of marriage ká tó wọlé. It's not about paying dowry, no. It's not about renting a hall of about 5 million for your wedding, no. Checkmate yourself. Just sit down, reason together, plan it together. What are the things that your spouse possesses that I cannot condone. Surely. Another factor I would like to bring is external influences. External influences, probably religion or cultural beliefs. And when you know to man far, so okay, you might be into the relationship for so long. Káwọn parents ṣe tó mọ̀ pé ẹ̀sìn báyìí ni partner ẹ̀ ṣe. Ah no, o ò lè fẹ́, o ò lè fẹ́ lẹ́sìn báyìí, o ò lè fẹ́ lẹ́sìn báyìí, àbí ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ báyìí, báyìí. So before you go into any relationship, sit down. Before you go too far, before you go too far, no, it's allowed. If wọ́n ti rí pé àwọn kọ̀ọ̀kan báyìí wà tó jẹ́ pé ó lè fa àìnífọkànbalẹ̀, àìnísinmi nínú marriage, please do something. It's not by force now. If you force yourself in, something will force you out. Not that you force yourself out. If you force yourself in, something will definitely force you out of that marriage. It's not by force. So because of our children, excuse me, our children, okay, let me say forthcoming children, please let's reason together before we get married. Let's sit down together, plan it together very well. No matter your religious this background, sit down, checkmate your partner very well, plan it so that you will have a very peaceful marriage, a blessed one for that matter. So with these few points, I believe my viewers are really gaining a lot from it. You're still going back to the street next week to ask some people. Tẹ́ bá béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn máa ní láti sọ. Yes. The program again is the real women. If you want to become a real woman, follow those factors. Watch this video. Watch it time to time. Okay, expire. It will not expire from your phone. No, just the Ignite TV on Play Store, on Instagram, all social media platforms. You see us there. The Ignite online television, igniting the good news on your screen. We are always there. Watch our programs. Our motivational programs are there. Religious ones are there. In fact, educational programs are there that you will learn from. Always follow us. Subscribe to the TV and you gain a lot. This is the real woman once again. Showing every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Just mark it, note it, and you'll be glad you did. I'm your anchor once again, Abiodun Adelere. See you next week on the street. Oya Iboroya. Thank you. I love you.